Students, in previous lecture of electric current through conductor, we learned Ohm's law, a resistance in series and parallel, and related articles. Here in today's lecture, we'll start with conductance. Conductance is the reciprocal of the resistance. We can define reciprocal of resistance is conductance. So K is equal to 1 by R, and SI unit of conductance is Siemens or 1 by Ohm. Okay, reciprocal of the Ohm is the SI unit of conductance, and this is known as Siemens. Okay, then specific resistance or resistivity of conductor at a particular temperature. The resistance of given conductor is depends on the nature of the material of the conductor and the area of cross section and its length. Okay, specific resistance is relate to the nature of the material of the conductor, area of cross section of the conductor and its length. So experimentally it is found that the resistance of conductor is directly proportional to its length, that is, a resistance of the conductor is directly proportional to its length and inversely proportional to the area of cross section E, capital E, and mathematically the relation is R is inversely proportional to E. So by these two statements we'll write R is equal to rho by L divided by E. Rho is the proportionality constant and known as specific resistance of the conductor or resistivity of the conductor. Okay, here we have to keep it in our mind. Resistance of the conductor is directly proportional to length. As I said, the resistance of the conductor is related to the material of the conductor, area of cross section of the conductor and its length. Okay, so experimentally it is verified that uh, resistance is directly proportional to the length of the conductor and inversely proportional to the area of cross section of the conductor. If we merge these two statements, mathematical statements together, we'll write R is directly proportional to L by E, and proportionality sign is removed, and rho is there. Rho is proportionality constant and it is known as specific resistance or resistivity of the conductor. Okay, for rho we'll write R A by L. R is the resistance, area of the cross section and length of the conductor. By rearranging this equation, we'll write R is equal to, sorry, rho is equal to R A by L. Specific resistance of the conductor will determine by this equation, and unit for the specific resistance, we know resistance is ohm, and this area is meter square, and length SI unit is meter. Meter square, meter, 1 meter is cancelled, and uh, uh, this SI unit of specific resistance will be ohm meter. Okay, so it will be here. Okay, then definition of specific resistance or resistivity. Resistivity of the conductor is numerically the resistance per unit length per unit area of cross section of the material, okay, of the conductor. This way we can define the resistivity. Then conductivity is reciprocal of the resistivity, same as to the conductance. Conductivity of the conductor is the reciprocal of the resistivity, means if the resistivity of the conductor is less, then more is the conductivity of the conductor. Okay, so we'll write rho sigma is equal to 1 by rho. Okay, SI unit for sigma is 1 by ohm meter. Specific resistance unit is ohm meter. So 1 by ohm is Siemens per meter. Okay, so this is the SI unit of the conductivity. Now the next topic is the variation of resistance with conductor. Rho naught is the resistivity of the material at T degree. You can say at 0 degree Celsius. Means uh, now this article will learn in two different way. One is we have to consider the resistance of the conductor, and resistance is changes when the temperature of the conductor is changes. Uh, Even resistance and resistivity of the conductor is relate to each other. If the temperature of the conductor is increases, the resistivity also increases. You can consider the resistivity for this article, or you go with the resistance. Both the derivations are there, only the simple change is there. Now here rho naught is the resistivity at 0 degree Celsius, and rho is increase in resistivity of the material at the temperature T. Means temperature is increases, the resistivity is increases. Then rho minus rho naught is change in resistivity. Increase in resistivity means after some heat is supplied to the conductor, the uh, resistivity is increases. Original resistivity is this. If we subtract, we'll get change in resistivity. This change in resistivity is directly proportional to original resistivity of the conductor. What I said, change in resistivity of the conductor is directly proportional to original resistivity of the conductor. Even this change in resistivity is directly proportional to change in temperature. uh, if the temperature of the conductor is changes, this change uh, of the temperature is directly proportional to the change in resistivity. It is in proportion. So from this two we'll write change in resistivity is directly proportional to original resistivity and change in temperature. Then proportionality sign is removed. Proportionality sign is removed, and the constant is alpha. Alpha is the coefficient of the change in resistivity of the conductor. So alpha will be here. uh, Rho minus rho naught is equal to alpha rho naught delta t will be the step. Okay, then this rho naught is to the right hand side. The equation becomes rho is equal to rho naught plus alpha rho naught delta t. Okay, these steps has to be over here, and then p naught is rho naught is common, and the equation will be P, sorry, rho is equal to rho naught into bracket 1 plus alpha T minus T naught. This is change in temperature delta T. So the equation for the increase in resistivity is rho is equal to rho naught into bracket 1 plus alpha into bracket change in temperature T minus T naught. Here you can consider the resistance. R naught is the resistance of the material at T naught, and R is increase in resistance of the material at temperature T. Here will be R minus R naught, change in resistance. R minus R naught will be directly proportional to R naught, and this change in resistance will be directly proportional to delta T. It will be remain same. Then R minus R naught is directly proportional to R naught delta T. Okay, and we will write the equation in terms of the resistance. Resistance, that is R is equal to R naught into bracket 1 plus alpha T minus T naught. So same way you can write the derivation for uh, the resistance, variation of the resistance with a temperature. Then definitely by rearranging the terms, that is alpha is equal to uh, rho minus rho naught divided by rho naught change in temperature is T minus delta T minus T naught. Even you can write delta T over here. Instead of delta T, you can write T minus T naught. Delta T is change in temperature. So change in temperature you can determine over here. Increase in temperature is T and original temperature is T naught. So subtraction of this will give us change in temperature. So similarly, you can write alpha for resistance R minus R naught, R naught that is T minus T naught into bracket. So alpha is the coefficient of the resistivity of the conductor. Equation for the resistance or increase in resistance, R is equal to R naught 1 plus alpha T minus T naught. So you can derive this equation in terms of the resistance. So you can make the practice by using original resistance and change in resistance in this article. So using this equation, you can define alpha, that is the temperature coefficient of resistance is defined as the increase in resistance per unit original resistance per degree rise in temperature, even you can say at the chosen temperature per degree rise in temperature. Okay, these are the words for the definition of alpha. The temperature coefficient of resistance alpha is the temperature coefficient of resistivity is defined as the increase in resistance per unit original resistance per at a chosen reference temperature per degree rise in temperature. This is the resistance. Okay, if we have to consider the resistivity, then increase in resistivity per unit original resistivity per degree rise in temperature, these words should be over here. So definition is this. Then the next topic is electromotive force, EMF. Already we studied the definition of electromotive force in our previous lecture. Here we know that the charges are there in the conductor, electrons are there in the conductor, and they are in a random motion before the potential difference is applied across the conductor. When a potential difference is applied, it must be there to uh, maintain cross the end of the conductor. Means electron will be passed through the conductor when potential difference is applied to the conductor, and this happens because of the source of electricity. When the cell or source of electricity is connected across the conductor, positive charges passes through the uh, conductor from the positive end of the source. At the same time, electrons passes through the conductor from negative terminal of the conductor. So the charges crosses through the conductor, crosses across the area of cross section of the conductor, and the potential difference is there across the conductor. This work is done by the source of electricity so that the charges circulate once around the circuit. This is known as EMF of the source. Due to charge uh, supplied by the source, so work is done on the charges. Energy is supplied by the source of electricity, and the work is done by the charges. So this happens in power cell, batteries, solar cell, fuel cell, and generators are the example of the EMF devices. Here is the diagram. Source of electricity. R is the internal resistance of the source, and capital R is the external resistance of the source. Uh, so I is the current uh, flowing through the device. Okay, internal resistance is R, and EMF is E. Potential difference across the conductor is V. Okay, here R is the internal resistance of the source. Opposition to the flow of the conductor inside the source of electricity is the internal resistance of the source. Means in the inside the source of electricity, the electron is from negative terminal to positive terminal, and positive charges from uh, sorry electrons from positive terminal to negative terminal, and positive charges is from negative terminal to positive terminal. See, uh, conventional direction of the electrons is from negative to the positive. Okay, and positive charges is from positive to the negative terminal of the source. Means positive charges inside the source of electricity is from negative terminal to positive terminal, and electrons are from uh, positive terminal to negative terminal. But there is the charges in opposite direction, positive charges and negative charges from opposite direction, and the current is set in the source of electricity itself. It is opposed by the resistance inside the source of electricity. This resistance is known as the internal resistance of the source. So here uh, will determine the internal resistance, even the uh, potential difference across the conductor, EMF of the source. These things we can uh, determine over here. So potential uh, across the external conductor is definitely the EMF of the source, and uh, subtract minus potential across the internal resistance, that is I into R, using Ohm's law. Here I repeat, potential across this resistance is equals to the EMF of the source minus potential across the uh, internal resistance of the source. This gives us what? External potential, or potential across the conductor, V. Then uh, V is equal to IR, using Ohm's law, the equation will be IR is equal to E minus IR. This minus IR to this side, equation becomes E is equal to I capital R plus I small r. So I will be the common, and will write E is equal to I into bracket R plus R. Then by rearranging, you can find out the current in this circuit, that is I is equal to E by R plus R. Even you can determine EMF of the source, that is E is equal to I into bracket R plus R. Even here you can determine the internal resistance of the source. How it can be determined? See, this minus IR will be this side and V to this side, means this becomes capital IR is equal to E minus capital V, is it? Then R is equal to E minus V by small r, is it? Even you can write E uh, this IR is equal to E minus I capital R. Okay, E minus I capital R, and if it is divided by small r, we'll get current. Even if we divided by I, we'll get internal resistance of the source. So this way, by rearranging the equations, you can determine internal resistance of the source, EMF of the source, current in the circuit, everything you can determine over here by rearranging the equation. If R is 0, means external resistance or resistance of the conductor is 0, then current will be maximum, and will write E by R. Okay, EMF of the source by internal resistance of the source, it gives us the maximum current in the circuit. Then cells in series, again it is like resistance in series and parallel. We already studied in our previous lecture. So cells are in series means the negative of one cell is connected to the positive of another cell. Two cells are here. A negative of one cell is connected to the positive of another cell. Then cells are in series, uh, and addition of the EMF will be there. If we connected negative of one cell to the negative of another cell, then cells will be in reverse order, and there is the subtraction of the EMF of the source of electricity, is it? So cells in series, but there are two methods. uh, they are in uh, they are assisting to each other, and they are persisting to each other. Okay, if they are assisting means negative is connected to the positive of another cell, then there is addition of the EMF, and negative of one cell is connected to the negative of another cell, then there is the subtraction of the EMF of the cells are there. Here we will consider the cells are assisting to each other, means one cell is connected, sorry, a negative of one cell is to the positive of another cell. Okay, sir, series combination, cells are connected in single path such that the positive terminal of one cell is connected to the negative terminal of next cell. Just I explained it. Okay, so sum of voltages will be there. So in figure, there is potential of the cell is 1.5 volt. So they are assisting to each other, therefore total potential will be 3.0 volt. Okay, if the number of cells are connected to each other and they are assisting, okay, So this series combination, there is simple addition of the EMF of all the cells. Okay. Uh, and what happens about the internal resistance? Even the internal resistance is goes on add with each other. Equivalent resistance of the cell of n number of cells, and they are in series combination. Then sum of their internal resistance will be R1 plus R2 plus R3 and so on. Advantage of the cells in series: what? The cells connected in series produces a large resultant voltage. Definitely the voltage will be increases, and if one of the cell is damaged, then it can be easily identified here easily, and we can replace it. Okay. Cells in parallel, definitely uh, the each terminal is connected to the common point. Hence positive of one cell is connected over here. Negative of one cell and negative of another cell is connected together. So this is positive terminal and positive potential over here, and negative potential is here. This type of combination of the cell is known as the cells in parallel combination. Same thing is explained over here. Two cells which are connected in parallel, positive terminal of all the cells are connected together, and negative terminal of all the cells are connected together. This is the combination or connection. The current is divided here in series combination. Same current is passes through each uh, cell. Okay, but here current is divided in two path, I1 and I2. So we'll write the equation here. Potential at point B1 and potential at point B2 will be VB1, VB2. Okay. For first cell, potential difference at the terminal uh, is V is equal to VB1 minus VB2. Okay. So VB1 is EMF of the cell, this cell, minus internal resistance of the cell, that is I1 R1. I1 is the current through this cell. So according to the internal resistance of the cell, in previous article we studied, V is equal to E minus IR. So here for first cell, E is E1, I is the current through the first cell, and internal resistance of the first cell is R1. Okay, and for second cell we'll write VB1 minus VB2 is equal to E2 minus I2 R2. Is it? Now we know the equation for the current. Uh, Here it is I is equal to I1. Up to this, the current is I. But when it come to the sources, the current will be divided into two parts, I1 and I2. So we'll write I is equal to I1 plus I2. Then here uh, I1 E1 to this side, V minus E1, or we'll write in this way: I1 R1 is equal to E1 minus V. Then R1 to this side, I1 is equal to E1 minus V by R1. R1 is we'll write E1 divided by R1 minus V by R1. Uh, what we done over here? Uh, I1 R1 is equal to E1 minus V. Then for I1, E1 minus V divided by R1. Okay, R1 is separate, that is E1 minus divided by R1 minus V divided by R1. Similarly, we'll write E2 divided by R2 minus V by R2, rearranging this equation. V is equal to E2 minus I2 R2. Okay, this becomes what? I2 R2 is equal to V minus E2. For I2, it is E2 minus V divided by R2. So we'll write E2 by R2 minus V by R2. Then this positive terms will be together and negative terms will be together. We'll get the equation E1 by R1 plus E2 by R2 minus V will be the common over here from these two terms, minus V by R1 minus V by R2, and negative sign is common, so it is 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. Then this negative term to right hand side, it becomes positive, and I to this side it becomes negative. So equation will be V into bracket 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 is equal to into bracket E1 R1 plus E2 R2 minus I. Uh, then uh, here rationalization of the denominator, okay, or LCM is, so we'll write E1 R2 plus E2 R1 R1 plus R2 minus bracket is simplified. Similarly, simplification of this will be done by you. So R1 plus R2 divided by R1 R2. For the current, okay, we'll write this way. Is it? Then this bracket to this side. So it becomes V R E1 R2 plus E2 R1 this, and here will be R1 R2. When this bracket comes to over here, R1 R2 will be in numerator and R1 plus R2 is in denominator. So R1 R2 here multiplication term denominator and numerator will be cancels. Okay, this term and reciprocal will be cancels, and we'll get E1 R2 plus E2 R1 divided by R1 plus R2, and here I into R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2 will be there. Okay, simply this bracket to left hand side, here it is multiplying, it will be divided to this two terms, that is this term and this one. So equation for the potential will be here. Okay, and if we replace the cell by a single cell connecting between point A and B, now these two cells will be replaced and a single cell of equivalent potential of these two is connected. This is known as equivalent cell. So here potential will be equivalent to these two, and internal resistance or potential across cell, EMF of the cell will be this, and potential of the cell will be this. Okay, so if we use over here, then we'll write equivalent EMF is equal to R1 R2 plus, sorry, E1 R2 plus E2 R1 R1 plus R2. This is the equivalent potential, and equivalent resistance will be R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. So this is the from this equation, actually it is the reciprocal of internal resistance of the source 1 and source 2. So we'll write 1 upon equivalent resistance is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2, and similarly we can write the ratio of the EMF of the equivalent source to the internal resistance of the equivalent source is equal to E1 by R1 plus E2 by R2. Okay, if the number of cells are connected in parallel, then their EMF will be E1, E2, E3, En, and internal resistance will be R1, R2, R3, and Rn. This is the huge derivation, but you can practice it separately by knowing each and every term. So it will be easy. So reciprocal of the equivalent resistance, internal resistance of the source is equal to sum of the internal resistance of the sources are connected in parallel. What I said, a reciprocal of the uh, resistance, internal resistance of equivalent source is equal to uh, sum of the reciprocal of the internal resistance are connected in parallel. Similarly, here you can write the ratio of the EMF of the equivalent source to the uh, internal resistance of the equivalent source will be in this way. Okay, so advantages of the cells in parallel. Uh, for cells are connected in parallel in the circuit will not be break uh, open even if the cell gets damaged or the open. You see the diagram. If one of the cell is damaged, then the electricity is passed through the another cell because uh, the terminals are connected directly to the supply. So if one of the cell is damaged, then supply will be continue. Uh, in a series, this will not be happen. If one of the source is damaged, we have to replace it because electricity will not be passed through the series combination. Then disadvantage is what the voltage developed by the cell in parallel connection cannot be increased by increase in number of cells. And if we connected the cells in parallel, the potential is decreases. Definitely, the potential of the parallel combination will be decreases. And if the cells are in series combination, the potential will be increases. Okay, so if the number of cells uh, in parallel combination is increases, the potential uh, uh, combination of the potential will be goes on decreases. Okay, types of cell, there are the three types of the cells are there in our syllabus. One is primary cell, secondary cell, and fuel cell. So in brief, primary cells cannot be charged. Okay, it can be used only once. It is dry cells, alkaline cells are different examples of the primary cells. Primary cells are at low cost and can be used easily, but these are not suitable for heavy loads. Okay, it is regarding to the primary cell. Secondary cell, in secondary cells are the rechargeable and it can be reused. Okay, chemical reaction in the secondary cell is reversible syllabus. Reversible chemical reaction is there. Lead acid cells, fuel cells are some examples of the secondary cell. Lead acid battery are used widely in vehicles, in our cars and motors. What batteries are there? It is from the lead acid battery. So when the vehicle start, it runs, it recharge, okay, automatically. So secondary cells are the rechargeable cells, and the last one is the fuel cell. Fuel cells are which is in electric. Now the new versions of the vehicles are there in progress. Uh, the electric cells are used in this. cars. So here electric vehicles that use fuel cells instead of lead acid batteries to power the vehicles. Hydrogen is used in fuel cells. Okay, hydrogen is used as a fuel. They by product after its burning in the water. Okay, this is important in terms of reducing the emission of greenhouse gases produced by the traditional gasoline fuels vehicle. Nowadays, the pollution is there because of the petrol, diesel, and other fuels. So it will be reduced by these electric vehicles, because there will not the greenhouse gases uh, here. So hydrogen fuel cell vehicles are just more environment friendly. It is eco friendly. Even it is eco friendly. The chapter is ends over here. The different types of the cells we used uh, here. Uh, the question will be there on primary cell, secondary cell, and fuel cell. Even distinguish between this fuel cell or secondary cell, primary cell or secondary cell. This type of question will be there on this part. Okay, so we'll stop here, and our theory part of this chapter is completed. Now in next lecture we'll learn some example on this chapter. Thank you.